12 and
Negative 1. Those are correct. Okay, so Leo, which two did you use to begin with and find the slope between?
8, 2, and -2,
These here?
Yeah.
Okay, so when you found that slope, what did you subtract on the top?
-6 and 8.
Okay,
No, 2.
it's got to be the y values.
No.
So -6 minus 2. So if you do that, what has to be on the bottom? 18 and 8. Same order. So that's -8, and that's 10, which is -4/5. So that's the slope between these two. So, conceptually what this is all about is if you had the point 82 and then you had 18, -6, sort of like this, these points are on a line that has a slope of -4/5. So if you were to add that point, 12, -1, it's down, it's 12 over, it's down in here somewhere. And if it's on the line, then the slope between that point and either of these other ones will be the same slope. If this point would be off of the line, then like between these two it would be a different slope, or between these 2 points it would be a different slope. So what we need to do then is just take this with either one of those 2 points and find what the slope is between them and see if it's the same. It's the same, they're all on the same slope. So take that, take the 8 and the 2, because you have less negatives to deal with. -1 subtract 2, 12 subtract 8 is -3/4. Same slope? No. So are they on the same line? No, they're not. See, between this and that 8, 2, this is a -3/4, which is, actually it's going to be sort of like this. That point lands up there somewhere. So you'll see that on the test. I'll definitely ask you that one. We had it on a quiz once before. Okay, question 3. Some of you did question number 3. Who can explain what they did with that? Exactly, yeah, just put the numbers into the formula y equals mx plus b. So how did you write the equation then? What was this part again? 8 over 9, and then x? So that's it. Yeah, that's all we need. Perfect. Complete. So then the temperature at 8 in the morning is 58. This was one I know a lot of us struggled with on the quiz. This is the type of problem, at least. It says at 8 o'clock it's 58, and it's going to rise 3 degrees every hour until 4. So if we write an equation in slope-intercept form to find the temperature for each hour. Who did this one? Any of you do this one? Number 4?
Yeah, I think I did it.
Well, what did you do?
Put it in an equation.
You just put it into an equation. What did you write?
Y equals 3 over 1 x.
plus how much?
50.
58? Is that what you said?
Yeah,
So where did the 58 come from?
that's the temperature.
That's what the temperature is. Is that the beginning temperature? Yeah. And so your y-intercept is always the beginning amount. Where did the 3/1 come from?
It was right there, I think.
It's the temperature rise each hour.
The temperature rise 3 degrees per 1 hour. Yeah, perfect.
So I did do it right.
You bet you did it right. So this is, if you put units in here, that's 3 degrees per 1 hour, and that's 58 degrees. So if you were gonna go and find out what the temperature was in 10 hours, if it went up like that, you just put 10 hours here, and then when you multiplied, the hours would cancel. See, this part right here would be 3 degrees times 10 hours, and that would be over 1 hour, so that would go away, so this would equal 30. And that means it's gonna be 88 degrees if it goes up like that. Now, the only difference, this is perfectly fine, the only difference is that they said they wanted to write the equation for temperature, so you could do this in terms of some other, they used another variable, didn't they? H for hours. So you could just write this as 3H plus 58. And it doesn't have to be 3/1, but it can be, that's okay. This would use those variables, y and x is all, it's the same. No problem. How about number 5? Somebody did number 5. Do you have it?
Undefined.
Yeah, describe the slope of every vertical line. It's undefined, yes. Yeah, it's undefined because if we had a line like this, and you took 2 points on it and tried to find the slope, when you did this, they would have the same x value. So whatever that x is, maybe it's -4, you did that value subtract itself, you would get 0. And we can't divide by 0. Division by 0 is undefined. Remember with the calculator, it says things like error and stuff like that if you try to divide by 0. It's undefined. Because we can't count how many times 0 goes into a number. Doesn't make sense. What if you were going to describe the slope of a horizontal line? What would that always be?
Undefined.
Not undefined, but it's always the same. Here, if we take a look at this, let's say you had a point there and there. These would have the same y value, because they're the same height up.
Just 0.
Yeah, but the x's would be different. So you'd be subtracting 2 different numbers here, but you would get 0 for the numerator, and 0 divided by any number is going to be equal to 0. So,
0 over 1.
say again?
0 over 1 is.
0 over 1 is 0.
Well, I'm just saying that you would write it, because it would be a rise of 0 to a run of 1.
Yeah, it could be a run of 1 or it could be a run of anything, any numbers. Yeah, so then you're going to get 0 from that. And this slope here is undefined, the vertical line. These get written as x equals, and horizontal lines get written as y equals some number. So, yeah, number 6, who did number 6? You did. Can you share what you did?
I added 3x to both sides.
Okay, let me write it on the board, and I'll do what you tell me to do. Is it 8 minus 3x? What does it equal?
Y.
Just y, okay. So you said you added 3x to both sides. So can I just do this? Did you do anything more? Do you need to do anything more? No. See, if it's in slope-intercept form, I mean, we write like this, but this is, oh, wait. Ooh. No, my mistake, my mistake. We're not doing this in slope-intercept form. Standard form, excuse me. My bad. So this is a start. So you want to have it look like this. Okay. We'll get some of this work out of the way. All right, then I'm going to ask you, if you're writing it in standard form, did you stop here? Well, did you stop here? You did. Is it okay to stop here writing it in standard form? Yeah, it is. Because you see the C value is 8. And this is the same as this. X's and Y's on the same side. There's no fractions, there's no decimal numbers. This is okay. What you might do is put the X's in front of the Y's. But you got it to the point here where that number is not a fraction, the 1 in front of the Y would not be a fraction, and the C is not either. So I'm not going to be terribly hung up if you have it in a little different order. Some people, that really like to make it look clean might change it to this, reading it from left to right. But that's not absolutely necessary right now. So I think that's okay, it only took one step. So who did question 7? You did as well? So it says the slope of a line is -1/2. So how does the how does the y coordinate change as you go 1 unit to the right? So like, if you're at a point with the slope being -1/2, if you move to the right 1, it's asking how does the y change? So what did you say?
It goes down 1/2.
You say it goes down 1, it goes down 1/2. Did any of you do this one? You did? What did you write? It goes down 2. So as you move to the right 1, you say it goes down 2. Ooh, that's a lot. What are you saying?
I said it goes down 1.
You say it goes down 1. Did you do this one? Did you?
Yeah,
What did you say?
I said 2.
It goes down 2? So y'all say it goes down, so that's good. It probably goes down, but how much does it go down? So it moves to the right 1. So if you were to think of it as rise and run. So if we wrote that slope as -1/2. But now they're saying it moves to the right 1, so they're saying that the run is going to be 1. So if it's going to be 1, how do you change a 2 into a 1 with multiplication or division? Divide it by 2. So you have to also divide the 2 by half, or a 2 by, sorry, you have to divide the -1 by 2. So then this becomes -1/2. that's what it is. I think. Yes. Is that hard to see? Yeah? Marvis, you say that's hard to see? To understand it? Can I do this? Can I just start with this point and do a negative 1/2? So that'd be like down 1 and then over 2. That's how we've been graphing these. Down 1 over 2. So then down 1 more over 2 more. So each of these is a step like this that goes down 1 and it goes over 2. Does that make sense? Okay. Can I draw that real big? You go down 1 and you go over 2. So now what happens is they say we're supposed to go over just 1. Instead of going over, this is 1, and this would be a length of 2. And all of this would be going down 1. So here is going down half as much. So whether you have a slope like this where you go down 1 and over 2, or you could go down 2 and then over 4. So if you went down 1 and over 2, that would be the same as going down 2 and over 4. Well, that could also be going down 1/2 if you go over 1. Because 1 is 2, 1 compared to 2 is, that's twice as big. And this number is twice as big as a negative 1/2. So you're just changing the size of your steps. So that's what it's going to be. So how about number 8? Who did number 8? Anybody? Yes? Did you do 8? Fiona or Raven, did you do 8? Okay, so it says to find the slope and the y-intercept of that line. So where do we start from? Jackson, you want to explain it? No? You're not comfortable with what you did? Okay, so number 8 needs to be dealt with. Okay, how about number 9? Who did number 9? Did you guys? Over here? Fiona or Raven? So number 9 is 1. How about number 10? Did they do 10? Yeah, so that one looks more straightforward. 2 consecutive years, the greatest decrease. I have a question for you guys with this book. Do you find that this book is, I don't know what the right word is, gender equitable?
Is it what?
Is it gender equal? Or do the examples and everything they have lean more towards one sex than the other?
I just do the math.
You just do the math.
Doesn't matter to me.
Cause what's the sport here in number 10?
NCAA.
NCAA, what sport?
Football.
Football. Do they have women's football teams? Are there any women that play on NCAA Division I teams?
Yeah.
There are.
There was, yeah, there was a kicker.
Yeah, there's a kicker this year. Trying to remember where.
She was a soccer player.
She was a soccer player, so she went and kicked field goals for the team. But there's not a single female professional football team in the world, is there? Do you find that this book is slanted towards one gender more than the other? You don't.
I've never noticed it.
You haven't noticed. How about you guys? Do you notice it?
No, the names are always, like, they could be for either person, so.
Oh, so there's some that are somewhat, what's the word? Gender neutral? Names?
Yeah.
You know, or they're names that we're not familiar with, we haven't heard, so we just, yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to remember.
Messiah.
Yeah.
That's not even a name of it.
What is?
No, some of them are weird.
Yeah, I think some of them are different cultures. So, you know, like Rabib and things like that. You're not gonna see that in Haines too often, unless the cruise ship is here. Haines is I don't know, there are native people, but by and large, it seems very white in its orientation. Much more white than I was expecting when I came here. Maceo's car, number 14. Okay, well, I just wanted to ask about the gender thing, because I feel like it's like football. Maybe I'm just sick of football because the Packers lost, I don't know. Probably, and Tom Brady won again.
Not really surprised. There's only so many.
Anyhow, okay, so Penn State football games. When was the greatest decrease? Between what two consecutive years?
2003 and 2004.
3 and 4? Looks like it increased up until what year?
2003. 2001.
01. And then it went down.
Oh, yeah.
Probably down this year, huh? Okay, so who did 11 here?
Oh, I did.
You did. How did you do number 11? Oh, so you did it kind of like a slope problem. Y2. So what did you use for Y2 and Y1?
I don't know if it's just one of the options, just one of them, but I did it.
Did you write it down?
I just have the number, the answer.
Oh, you just have the answer? You didn't write the numbers? Be nice if we could write the numbers. What did you get for an answer, though? 6,611. And that's between 04 and 99? Okay, so if you did the Y2 minus Y1, and you got that number, this is a problem I want to pay attention to, because on the quiz, we all started it well, but we didn't finish it well. So this comes from what? Some of, others of you worked on it. Where did this number come from? What did you subtract to get to it?
Oh, the attendance.
Oh, the attendance. So this is what, 103, 111. And what was the attendance in
96,500.
96,500? Good. So that equals this. So this is people, right? Did you use an X2 and an X1? You did? Or not?
It's just the years.
It's the years. What years are they?
1999 and 2004.
Okay, 2004. So what if you subtracted those? What would you get?
9.
Look again.
Oh, 5.
5 years, yes?
Okay.
So let's go back and, could somebody read the problem?
What is the rate change in average yearly attendance in 1999 to 2004?
Okay, so in the middle of the sentence, it says average yearly. So this is the number of people in 5 years.
So you have to divide by 5.
Exactly, so you want to divide that by 5. And I don't know who's got it. Can somebody beat me to it? I can do it. 6611. So it's 1322.2. So it's 1322.2 people per 1 year. So this gets you to the rest of the answer by dividing by 5. So is this a decrease or or an increase? Well, if I read that number the way it is there, it's positive, so I would say it's increase. And is that what it did? It did go up? Yeah, 1999 was 96. Okay. So you can either say the word increase or you can just leave it as positive. Where it gets a little sticky is if there's a decrease. You have to make sure you either say decrease or you use a negative number. Okay, who graphed number 12? You did it. Who graphed 13? You did 12 and 13. Are you confident in your number 12? Did you say no?
She said yeah.
Oh, she said yeah. It's hard. Between the plexiglass and the masks and the big room, it's hard to hear. Can you put it up here? Can I put it up there? So that's the one. This is 12. So the equation was 3/8 x minus 5/8. Let's see if that works. Yeah, it sort of does. I don't know if Trent's gonna watch. He never watches these things. But so 3/8 x minus 5/8. So here's your line. Is that supposed to go through -1? Okay. So there's the equation.
8.
So if you look at the equation there, what part of the equation should be the y-intercept?
You or,
5/8 or 3/8? 5/8. Is it positive or negative? Negative. So this line is got a negative y-intercept, which is good. But this one goes all the way down to 1, so where would you move that line to make it go through negative 5/8? So if each one of these little tick marks is equal to 1, is this going to move up or is it going to move down? It's going to move up just a little bit. Negative 5/8 is going to be just a little bit down from a half. Okay. Is the direction of the line that's going up, is that the right direction for the slope? So what part of the equation here tells you that it has to slope upward? With 3/8. What would have to be here if it sloped downwards? Negative, yeah. So with this one, it's going up. It needs to be slid up a little bit higher. It needs to go through 5/8 here. And when I look at this, if you count, you go up 1 and you go over 1. And it's hard also too because we don't have graph lines. So that's why I gave you guys graph paper, and I'll give you more. I'll give you as much as you need so that we can put these onto a grid a little bit more cleanly. Thank you for letting her work you through that thing. Does anybody need graph paper? No? No? You do? Do you like the sticky kind or the whole sheets? The sticky? Do you see it sitting out anywhere? Right here. Yeah, I know. The little lines sometimes can be a challenge too. If you like the bigger line graph paper, I've got some. I'm starting to run out, but I'll dig up more of it. I'm gonna order some. So if we have our axes like this, this is y and this is x. And if each one of these is equal to 1, 5/8 is going to be about right here. And then there's a negative 5/8. So then making this slope of 3/8, how can you use that to make another point? Go up 3 and over 8. So if you go up 3, it's going to be in the middle of this one twice, 3 times. So you have to go to there. Let's see. So this is a negative 5/8. So that's going to be a little bit below a half. And then you go over 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you just have to, let's see. So instead of going up 3 and over 8, I can go down 3 and back 8. 1, 2, 3. And then I'm going to go back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that could become a new point. There's a line. So this is negative 5/8. How about lucky 13? You did 13. Did you? 13? 13? Barbara, you looking at 13? You have to graph that one. Y is less than or equal to 6 minus 4x. Y is less than or equal to, what did it say, 6 minus 4x? What's the equation read? Okay. The little people. So, do you remember the steps to getting this done? A lot of this chapter is memorizing these processes and steps and what the slope stands for and what the y-intercept stands for. When we get past this, it will start getting better. We need to get some of this stuff down. Do you remember the steps? You started it, huh? Can I look and see what you did again? Oh, you put them in calculator and then just looked at them? Okay. And that's a good way to check, but I definitely want you to be able to do them by hand as well. So, what did I do with this last one up here? What was the first thing that I did when I graphed this? Got the y-intercept. What was the second thing I did? Find another point using the slope. That's exactly what you do with this other inequality. So tell me what the y-intercept is, please. What's the y-intercept? How much? 6. Positive or negative? Huh? Positive, yeah, it's a positive 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oops, it's going to be way up here. So there it is. That's 6. And then the second thing was to use the slope to find another point. What is the slope? -4. So, what should I do? From here? You gotta talk louder, the 7th graders are really noisy. So this is a -4. So which direction should I go? To the back? 4?
Yeah.
What are the words that we use for slope again? Rise over run. So if you read it as a fraction, the top number is the rise, the bottom number is the run. Down 4. And? Which way? Forward 1, because this is like this. There's a point. So now before I draw the line, is it going to be a solid line or a dashed line? Solid line. Good, thank you. Now we need to shade, and how do we determine which way to shade? What's that? Plug in the zeros. So if this is 0, 4 times 0 is going to be 0. If that's 0, is 0 less than 6? Yeah. So it's just, I'm just putting this in. I'm saying this point, which is 0, 0, is going to be put into here to see if it's true or not. And if it's true, there's your shading. That's hung over the sun. So if any one of these points that's out here would work in that equation. Okay, so now. You gotta go back and pick some more. Cause there's 21 of them. So when you come back tomorrow, come back with 14 done, please. 14 of them. So, another 7, yeah. So I'm taking one lesson and we're breaking it up into 3 days. Because my goal is for you to be able to do this stuff. Come back ready to talk about it too. I think that helps you. See you later. Charge? Behind the